give me a second here to get everything set up really quickly, everyone, of course. We're going to have a lot of fun today. So just give me a moment to set up real quick here. Do a quick sound check. So once someone hops in and starts listening, if you guys could give me a sound check. Check, mic check, mic check. Let me fix my glasses here. He's talking about the day, man. Alright, let's see here. Alright, so let's go to this one. Alright, like I said, starting early. Just give me a quick second here. I'm going to wait for a few more people to hop in because I did start early. So I'm going to get a few slides and stuff loaded up. What's up, Jack? How's it going, man? Sounds good. All right. Glad it sounds good. Thank you for the heads up on that. I'll try to make sure I stay closer to my mic and project into it because I can, at least project a little bit better. And we got Marcus jumping in saying hello. Hello, Marcus. What's up, man? All right, like I said, just give me another quick moment here. We're going to go deep dive. We're going to explain some deep dive wallet, asset holder kind of stuff. We're going to get into some really interesting data, some really interesting stats. So just give me a few moments here to get everything set. I'm going to clean up my PC, and we'll get going here shortly. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to change a few things. Nightman. Alright, cool. Alright. What's up, Mike? Hello to you too, man. We're just getting everything ready right now, so just give me a quick moment because we're going to go deep dive today, and I want to make sure y'all are getting to see this kind of stuff. So let's jump into here, into the old content box here, because we have some cool bits we want to go over. All right, well, we are a little early, and as tradition with these streams, this is not the official intro, all right, guys? This is not the official intro. But as traditions with these streams, it is important that we do hydrate, all right? So make sure that you have hydration methods of choice. Yes, how fucking hot was that? All right, cool. All right, let's see. All right, cool. So let's get started. What's up, everyone? Klaus, Family Hobbies and Cards. We're here, we're live, and we're talking Stellar XLM Lumens. In today's big premise, okay, is going to be the deep dive on asset holders, all right? I know there's going to be some questions out there. I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen the video regarding asset holders, all right? If you haven't, it looks like this. I think I've changed like the title and the picture a few times, so you may have seen it, but I did. I just released it today. It's a longer one. It is really, really gritty, really, really deep stuff, all right? So if what we're talking about today does not make any sense whatsoever, check out this deep dive video, okay? That'll give it more explanation, but honestly, today we are going to go hardcore on this stuff, all right? So let's get into that, and actually let's change this up right here. Yeah, that was some ASMR stuff, right? And you guys are gonna have to give me just a little bit of patience. I don't have my wife with me today helping out. She is enjoying her time away, not away from me, but just her time, with as I'm busy with this, she's having her fun. So all right, this is what we're talking about here. And again, if you're just hopping in right now, please feel free, let me know who you are, and we will get going, all right? So let's take a look at this. So what we're starting with, first of all, is this is how this whole thing actually started, okay? If you go into the Stellar Ledger, okay, and if you don't know where that is, we will start you off from the beginning just so that everyone's up to speed, okay? Go to stellar.org, scroll all the way down to the bottom. Yes. Go to Ledger Explorer. I've already clicked that. We are then now going into XLM in circulation, okay? It's going to open up this chart, which is going to talk about supply and accounts. And this is the basis of the whole thing, all right? So hold on, let me wet the old palette here. All right, cool. So this is how the data started, all right? And this is how the premise of the whole video started. And what I want to do, okay, is kind of explain to everyone out there how to look at data differently and how to take data from stuff like this and to help you better build just knowledge about like your investments and so forth, right? And again, I'm not a financial consultant, analyst, whatever the heck you want to say. This is my personal way of doing stuff, and I'm a very heavy analytical person. This is what I used to do for work. I used to do a lot of analytics on the operations side of things. So for me, this is kind of like, you know, normal stuff. Okay, so this is what I did here, okay? So what we're focusing on right now is this number of asset holders, all right? And what you can see is that how Stellar has asset holders, it's a cumulative effect, all right? So with this cumulative effect, all you see right now is just a total growth of something. And so let me put this into perspective, okay? So right now, if I tell you that, hey, we have 1 million customers, you're going to be like, okay, that's not a bad idea, you know, not a bad number. But what if I say I have 1 million customers in 1 month? Oh, okay, that sounds a little bit juicy, right? Now, what if I tell you, hey, I have 1 million customers, but it took me 20 years to get there? You're like, oh, well, out of the 3, you kind of suck, man. So you see what I'm saying? Just because you have a number, right, a cumulative number like 1 million, it doesn't mean anything. We have to put it in reference and scale, right, of time and what the effect and impact is of that number. Otherwise, the number just has no bearing whatsoever. So this is how this all started. What I essentially did was I took all of the data on this orange line, and right now all of this data is broken down into 2-month segments. So if you're looking at the screen right now, you can see it says January and February 2016. Okay, so that is a 2-month segment. You go to the next segment, it is going to be March to April 2016. All right, so these 2-month segments, okay, we're going to be able to build data year over year, month over month, and there's maybe a couple other kind of crazy hidden bits in here, all right, but I will explain it, and that's why we are all here watching this video, okay? So what I did was I took this, right, this compounded number here, all right, and now remember, this is compounded cumulative. This is cumulative, sorry, not compounded, cumulative number, okay? I extrapolated this backwards by subtracting the previous data range's number to give me what the net change was, okay? So what I did was I took the net change rather than the cumulative total, okay? So I took the net change, and I applied it to this, all right? This right here is what the chart really looks like, all right? The chart that you guys see that looks like this orange, nice big line one that looks really, really sexy, right? Because I mean, hey, if you were to walk into a boardroom and you were to stuff this up on a screen, sexy. And you got to think, okay, for Stellar, these ledger numbers are up in front. Anyone can look at them. So when it talks about big whale investors and so forth, people that have massive amounts of resources and capabilities to research this stuff, they're looking at these decentralized finance protocols and seeing whose books, whose ledgers actually look the best. And they start breaking down stuff like this, okay? So yes, I took this orange line and I extrapolated it out into monthly data. So for instance, you could see like period January to February of 16, they only gained 1,500 new accounts. They had really slow growth the first year, as you can see on the chart. And then look, it exploded in growth, right? It exploded right around September, October 18, okay? And if we look at our data sets, we can see that, okay? September, October, look at that. They went from 141,000, okay, new asset holders in that 2-month period to 570,000 and 524,000. Check this out, November, December, 744,000, okay? So like I said, I have all that data, and this is what their month, or their 2-month over 2-month period gain actually was, okay? So this is the actual number of new asset holders that Stellar has acquired, all right? So look at how this works here, all right? When you look at the data, no growth here on the left-hand side, kind of amazing growth, oh crap, something happened here. Good growth again, an oh crap moment, and then now kind of sluggish growth, okay? My thesis regarding this, what's up, Brandon? Glad you hopped on, man. My thesis regarding this, okay, is that this right here, you see this period right here? We're talking about the May, June of 20 on. this isn't a big growth phase, okay? When you go back and you look at the data, you're like, oh man, this looks hot. Look at this. This number just keeps going up and up and up. Yeah, it keeps going up and up because it's cumulative. But if you break it down how many new asset holders they're actually onboarding each time, you get an actual better look of how Stellar is growing, all right? So again, take a look at all the data right here. In the first initial couple of years of Stellar, they weren't onboarding many asset holders, okay? Holders of Lumens XLM, okay? Native, all right? That being said, they had a huge explosion. Look at the growth here. I mean, we're talking onboarding 750,000 asset holders. That's a lot, okay? When I say onboarding, I mean retaining, bringing it in, okay? Part of the Stellar family, okay? Then again, you could see they had a real low period here. Again, followed by a high one, dip. Okay, you guys get what I'm trying to say with this. So this, all right, just to get everyone caught up right now, okay? This right here, this orange line of cumulative asset holders, we don't want to know cumulative. We want to know how does this work month over month, year over year, quarter over quarter. Unfortunately, we can't go quarter over quarter, so we do time period over time period. And don't worry, I got you covered with that chart. If you guys are still with me, let me know, because like I said, I wanted to explain this really deep, and then we're going to get into some open questions, and we're going to kind of go further from that. And then I got some juicy nuggets, because anyone's on this live stream is going to catch something really neat that I'm working on. All right, so let's go back to that, okay? So again, this is really what Stellar's growth looks like in terms of new account holders. Pretty interesting, all right? And again, if you want any of this data, let me know. I will gladly send it to you, screenshot it, whatever you need. I will help you out with that. Okay, so now let's go down to the second one, okay? And this is the huge thing that everyone has to take out of this, all right? Data can look way different in many different forms and functions, all right? When you start using different charts and different pivot tables, you can really start pulling things from the data that tells you the story, okay? This here is a better representation of Stellar's growth in a 2-month time period. As you can see on the left-hand side of the chart here, they had very little growth. Then all of a sudden they started onboarding many new asset holders. Again, we talked about this. There was a huge decline, followed by a huge rebound. Oh my gosh, a massive decline. In fact, even a loss of asset holders. But then you could see over this last year and a half, steady, slow growth going on up. What we need to see, okay, as asset holders, what we need to say as believers in Stellar, what we need to see is actually how I should say it, is that this here, this trend going forward that happens this way has to now start really ramping up and accelerating up quickly. Do you see this quick initial growth phase right here, right? All right, this huge hyperbolic growth phase right here, right? That's what we need to start seeing with this next wave right here. If we start seeing this next hyperbolic wave, I truly believe that this is going to tie in with the price action, because it's going to put organic pressure on XLM, because we're going to be onboarding more and more accounts. Now, I've got a really cool juicy bit for you. And if you want to know how to predict, predict is going to be kind of weird. I'm going to show you guys this. If you want to know how to predict asset holders, because remember, once we define the relationship between asset holders and price pressure, we're able to then use future asset holders and how it applies to price pressure to help us understand better floor pricing for Stellar, all right? That's why I'm doing this, okay? So check this out. This is going to get really, really cool. Okay, so right now, remember, each one of these blocks, okay, and if you guys are lost, type questions in. I will go back and totally explain it, all right? But just remember, each one of these little colored segments on here is a 2-month time period, all right? So this blue one you see right here at the end is November and December. So we're only 2 weeks into November, right? And so let's just pretend November and December is 8 weeks total. So if we're 2 weeks into November, that means we still have 3/4 of that November and December time period left, which means the amount of accounts that they have onboarded, or asset holders that they have right now onboarded, if they're growing at the same rate for this last quarter, this will quadruple. All right, if you get what I'm saying, let me know, okay? But check it out. Look at this, okay? Let's go way over here in our data, all right? So in the first 2 weeks of November and December, Stellar has onboarded 166,000 new asset holders, all right? Remember, that's only 2 weeks, okay? We still have 6 more weeks left between November and December. Easy math, all right? Just easy math. Let's not go crazy. Let's not go 6.5 or 7, right? Just like 6 weeks left, right? So let's do this. Let's figure out. Let's take that 166,307, and we know there's 4. Oh, geez, that's a big number. Let's take, 166,307, okay? And we're going to multiply it times 4 because it's 4 quarters, all right? You guys get what I'm saying? It's only been 2 weeks right now. 2 weeks out of an 8-week segment is 25%. Multiply that times 4 to give you 100%, which would be your actualized number. Holy crap. This means, see this number right here, 665,228? If Stellar is growing at the rate that they currently are in relationship to asset holders, which puts organic pressure on the native token, all right, that means this number here, this blue bar, which is the bar we're in currently right now, the time period between November and December, this could go all the way up to here to 665,000 if Stellar grows at the same rate that they are right now in the first 2 weeks of this time period. All right, Jack says the blue bar means if we measure at the same time as others, it will be way up there. Yeah, with this blue bar right here, and Jack, don't worry, man, we're going to have tons of explanations with this, all right? Like I said, this gets really deep, but I really want people to understand kind of what goes behind this stuff and why it's important, all right? This blue bar right here, this represents the time period right now that we're in, November and December, okay? And what I mean is this, okay? Stellar right here, when they do their data for this ledger dashboard, they do it in 2-month time periods. You can see it at the top of that white box up there. It's November and December 2021. This one is September to October. So for the first 2 weeks, right, check it out. For the first 2 weeks of November and December, all right, they have, oh my gosh, let's take another look at it. For the first 2 weeks of December, that's this blue bar. We've only got 2 weeks in, guys. For the first 2 weeks, they're at 166,000. Right? If you want to know all 8 weeks at the same rate, that's 665,000 accounts. Okay, so now you're saying, well, wait a minute, Klaus, that seems kind of weird. How is that feasibly possible? Well, I got your back, guys, all right? So check this out. What I then did, and we can go back to any of the charts if you guys got questions, no worries on that. What I then did was I plotted Stellar's growth of asset holders, same time period, but year over year. So for instance, this column right here is 2016. This is so how many asset holders joined Stellar 2016, 2017, 2018, 19, 20. You guys get it, right? But this is for the January, February time period, right? So column C, right? Check it out. In January to February, over their whole existence, they've onboarded 880,000 asset holders. And that's what's shown in this representation down here, okay? So during Stellar's lifetime, okay? Stellar's lifetime, all right? Check this out. And Jack, rock on, man. Glad. Just if you got questions, man, just ask. No worries, all right? So again, if you look at this, okay, and when you chart stuff like this, the reason you chart stuff like this has to do with consumer cyclical patterns, all right? A ton of industries out there have ebbs and flows, all right? So that being said, all right, you need to know at what time do certain industries really hit their stride, okay? Let's think about retail, because that's what we're thinking right now at this time of year, okay? It's Christmas time. Retail volume, retail sales pick up around Christmas time, okay? Kind of cool. The industry I worked in was really big around Christmas, New Year's, January, February, March. Really big around back to school, was really quiet in the summer. All right, so each industry, right, each thing has their own kind of biorhythm, right? Their own kind of flow that they flow in and out of. So that's what I plotted with Stellar, okay? And now remember, this is all extrapolated from this data, going reverse, going month by month over the previous month, okay? So it's not cumulative. We went month by month, and this took a frickin' long time. But anyway, so check it out. You can see throughout the course of the year, the number of asset holders that Stellar will onboard increases huge, right? September and October, huge jump, and November, December being the biggest time frame in Stellar's total history. I mean, the total history of Stellar as a coin, right? They have onboarded the most number of wallet holders at 1.69 million during this time period. Now, what's really cool about that, though, is if you think about the data just a little bit further, remember that number I said, that 166,307, that's only 2 weeks old? That could be 600 something thousand. Add another 500,000, 500,000 to this number, and this chart is blowing up way up here. You are going to see more back end November, December asset holder pressure being put on Stellar than you've ever seen before, okay? So now let's look at that. If this projection continues, okay, to where we can get 600 something thousand. Now again, what's another way to do this, right? We could wait 2 more weeks, and now we would have a 50% multiplier, right? Because we would have all of November's data, but we wouldn't have, say, December's data, okay? So that would be half. So we would know what half of the growth curve is. We could then extrapolate a little bit more accurately with a half growth curve rather than a quarter growth curve. And you can get tighter and tighter and tighter to project up until the last moment. It's called a glide path, all right? That's what we call as a glide path. All right. Oh, I don't want you guys to see that down there. That was juicy bits. I don't want you to see that. That's hidden stuff. So yes, 166,000 asset holders right now, and we could easily see that going over 600,000 new asset holders this month, okay? So now look at this right here. What I'm seeing, okay, that's jumping out to me, and this is kind of crazy, all right? And this kind of makes sense, all right? Let's just think about this as we've gone through this as Stellar asset holders, because some of us have been doing this for some time, and some of you guys are new, so our experiences are going to be pretty interesting here as we digest this data. March and April is very quiet for Stellar. Same thing with May and June, but we start seeing it starts ramping up July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Very interesting growth curve right here. Dormant in the March all the way through August time period, only to pick up big in September through December. All right. So now if I'm Stellar and I'm an asset holder, okay, I want to see this. And here's why this is really important, okay? And this is, I guess, the big sub thing that I want everyone to get a hold of. And I'm sorry about the barking dogs. I have 3 dogs. They're actually all sick now. So if you caught the last live stream, I had 1 dog sick. Now I've got 3. It's nuts. And my other guy, he's somewhere around here. He's sleeping on the floor down there. Cute guy. But so what I'm looking at with this data, okay, is with these asset holders, with this right here. And if I'm thinking, hey, how is Stellar going to perform? And the big bit I wanted to take away from this is anyone that is about the age of, say, 40 and older, maybe 39, 38, the dot-com bubble of the late 90s, early 2000s, all right? If any of you out there traded that, you remember everyone out there was doing a .com. I mean, you could have like wipeyourass.com or takeadrink.com. My point is, a whole bunch of people got funding, and they .com the crap out of everything, all right? I mean, they legitimately .com the crap out of it. You name it. There were companies that their business model was to lose money during the .com boom, to then use the IPO money to fund them through the lull to find a way to make net profit. Yeah, they never even had a business plan to make net profit. Anyways, what ended up happening was after a couple of years, the .coms got wiped out, okay? Investors got savvy. The meme part, okay, because remember, meme tokens, we always talk about why do the meme tokens get firepower? Well, this is going to tie into this, okay? So when you think about this stuff, okay, in the .com bubble, right, the meme companies all went bankrupt. They all went away. They didn't make it. The companies that made it were the ones that had good products, good development, good teams, good marketing, and so forth, just good overall business strategies, okay? This is what you're seeing with coins and tokens right now. There's so many junk coins and tokens on the market that it's like it's going to be meme versus fundamentals. Right now, meme is winning, okay? Elon Musk sits here and says, hey, you know, go buy Doge. Boom, Doge skyrockets, right? I mean, that's just the world we're living in right now. But fundamentals rule the roost. You can ride the meme wave all you want, but fundamentals rule the roost, because just like how fundamentals cleared out almost, I don't even want to guess how many, but cleared out a whole bunch of people, right, in the late 90s, early 2000s. If people don't start getting into fundamentals when it comes to the coins and tokens that they're investing in, they are going to be screwed. So that's why I like doing a lot of deep dive research like this, because this tells me if the project I'm into is actually one that has a lot of development and if they're going to tackle the problems. So let's talk about tackling the problems. Okay, so what I want to see is a stellar asset holder going forward, because remember, I'm a long-term holder, and what you do, hey, that's all up on you guys. I'm just telling you right now, I'm a long-term holder. If we got some short-term swing traders here, you're welcome to hang out. I like this kind of stuff, all right? So check this out, all right? If I want to look and see if Stellar is really going to start making some big, big moves, they need to improve upon this March to April, May to June lull right here, okay? In corporate settings, I don't care if you're a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 100, it doesn't matter, all right? The first thing they tell you is find your low points and bring them up, okay? So on this chart right here, our low points are going to be the March-April segment and May-June segment. The first thing they need to do is pull this up. That will bring all your averages up, because remember, there are other investors out there that are looking at data like this, okay? There are groups of people out there. I mean groups, like legitimate groups, okay, that get together and crunch stuff like this, okay, for very wealthy clients. What do we have? Well, we've got each other, and I think that's an even bigger thing if we start learning and sharing this stuff with you guys. That's why I really want to start like coaching and teaching this stuff, because the more people I have thinking analytically, and then more people I have thinking like, you know, fluid artistically, like we can meld things together and we can be a much stronger force together. But anyways, getting back to my point, Stellar, what I need to see from Stellar is this right here. They need to improve the March, April, May, and June onboarding. One easy way to do it, yeah, my wife's chiming in saying I sound like I'm underwater. Yeah, I have to figure out some of my sound settings. They did get jacked up. I don't know what the heck happened. But anyways, getting back to it, okay? When I'm looking at this, Stellar needs to improve here. What are some ways that Stellar can improve? Okay, they can give incentives. So what I'm sitting here, okay, is saying this. I want you to think of these numbers, okay? So we're going to talk about onboarding, okay? So let's go to El Salvador Chivo Wallet, okay? Because El Salvador launched the Chivo Wallet, okay? The Chivo Wallet, all right, brought on 2.1 million new wallet holders, okay? 2.1 in the first 2 months. Just go think about that number again. 2.1 million in the first 2 months. Yes, Stellar has 2-month time periods, right? Right? Yeah. So now we have some apples to apples data. So 2.2 million versus Stellar's best ever was 744,000. That is how you guys can maybe see the better picture, and how I can see the better picture of how Stellar needs to perform at a higher rate, okay? When El Salvador is onboarding the Chivo Wallet, at 2.1 million people in a 2-month time period, the best Stellar has ever done has been the 740-something thousand. Let's see what it is technically. Yep, 744,000 in November to December of 18. So you can see there's so much more upside potential if they do a better job onboarding asset holders. So now, how did El Salvador get to this? And that's what we're talking, okay? How do you, right, as a company, right, Stellar, and how do us as investors and people that are into Stellar, how do we know that Stellar's doing the right thing? We're going to have to see this number get attacked, right? We're going to have to see them work on their worst KPIs, their worst key performing indicators, okay, and see if they start improving them, okay? Now, with El Salvador, what they did, they offered a $30 bonus to anyone that opened up a wallet. Huge, okay? And I want you to think about something. El Salvador's population is 6.1 million, I believe. 6.3, 6.1, somewhere around there, okay? A third of their population opened up those Chivo wallets. Stellar's doing a program with AirTM in Mexico. Mexico has a population of 128 million. You do the math. I'm not doing the math on this one. You guys do the math on this one, all right? But you get my point. We start onboarding wallets, right? The actual asset holders. There, it's going to cause some very organic pressure on this. Not meme pressure, not trade swing pressure, organic asset holding pressure, okay? So that's how you look at Stellar in a now time over time period, okay? Same time period, year over year, in a cumulative effect to see any seasonality. I got more though, don't worry guys, I got your back, I got you more. All right, so then what I looked at here, all right, and this is something that's gonna be very tough, okay? And for those of you out there watching this, okay, the chart on the left is gonna be very, very hard to feel if you're not used to this, all right? The chart on the right, we're all gonna be very more familiar with. So let's just start with the chart on the right real quick. Again, the chart on the right is those 6 time periods every year that Stellar onboards new asset holders. Again, first year, not much action. Second year, not much action. Third year, ooh, we grew, baby. Fourth year, we kind of had some stumbles. Fifth year, we had some massive stumbles with, look at this, slow growth since. Stellar hasn't had a massive onboarding 2-month time period yet, right? Since what? The fourth segment year, 1, 2, 3, 4, since 2019, and again followed up in 2018 for asset holders. Kind of interesting there, okay? Get what I'm saying? And for those of you that are just joining, don't worry, we will have this live stream in the live stream folder because this is getting nitty and gritty. Okay, so now the one I really want to focus on is this chart right here on the left. Okay, this is what I'm familiar with, and this is what I want to show everyone. Okay, this is the same data on the left, but the visuals are different. Okay, if you want to examine to see if a business is continually growing smoothly, not where they're having problems where they grow so big they stumble, fail, blah, blah, blah. Look at Stellar's number 5 over here. You see this stumble here at number 5? See this stumble here at number 4 where we had 2 great time segments and then 2 crappy ones, 2 great ones? That's not business growth. Business growth looks like this. We go up, we hold and learn, we go up, we hold and learn, we go up, we hold and learn. This is horrible. That's not how something smooth should run, okay? So that's why I defer to the chart here on the left. And the reason why you do that, okay, this now takes every month time period, every 2-month time period, ties it into a line, and you can now watch the vectors sideways, okay? And what I mean by that is the tighter the lines are together as they move. So you could see from line 1 to 2 in that first year, each month grew fairly similarly. It makes sense. The growth lines were tight. Was there a lot of growth? No, that's why it's flat. If there was a lot of growth, your lines are going to tilt up like this, okay? But you can see the first year was flat, but it was equal across all time segments. So now let's go to the second and third year, okay? So between time segment number 2 and number 3, okay, second and third year, I'm sorry, look at that. All segments were growing, but some faster than others. So there was an inequality of growth, all right? You can see it right here, right? Inequality of growth. So again, second to third time phase, everything is going up, but not the same. That tells you they're starting to become business deviation. Doesn't mean a bad thing. It just means it's deviating from its normal growth pattern, okay? Now check out line 3 to 4, time segment 3 to 4. Some lines are going up, some lines are going down, some lines are going sideways. It's all over the place, okay? So now look at time segment number 3 to 4. You could see that represented right here. And again, look at time segment 4 to 5. You could see a general decline. Check that out. See this decline here from 4 to 5? Almost every line, you could see them as a whole coming together, pointing down, okay? Pretty interesting, all right? And let me get caught up in the comments room. I'm sorry about that, guys. I get really into this data analytics and stuff. So let me get caught up in the comment. Let's see here. Thank you, Brandon, for the great work thing. And Jimbo says, it'd be interesting to see a new geographic breakdown of new wallets. I have to see if I can figure out a way to do that. But I don't know how wallets would be tied into geographics unless you had some sort of consumer data tied into it. It would almost make you wonder if they had to voluntarily release that for consumer data type stuff. Let's see, we got Jack chiming in. You were the real #1 coach for XLM, for XRP. Yeah, like I really try to get like all the data out there for everyone. So this is really cool. Let's see, we got Alex says, I love the functionality of Stellar. It's counterintuitive though. If the asset is meant to be used in as exchange for currency 1-to-1, how can an increase in price incentivize its use? Okay, here, Alex. Here is how Stellar's price can increase in use, and this is why it ties into asset holders. Stellar becomes a more functional financial web. The more user-to-user, right, usage we have, and the more, and you've seen this on these exchanges with liquidity pools, the more pairings we have of different assets. That is where the price starts growing as Stellar's functionality becomes huge. I've got a juicy bit for you guys, all right? And the big one, all right, is that, and Alex, this kind of ties into that. There's an article that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow, a story, okay? The story tomorrow is going to be about Ethereum gas fees and how someone had to spend $300 on gas fees, where if they were to use Stellar their whole life, they wouldn't even use $1 for fees. So Stellar is essentially free. So the idea is that more people are going to come on to use a lower cost service rather than a higher cost one, save money on the bottom line, and that will come growth and scale. So Alex, that's how the price and then the incentives come into play, right? Because it is so much cheaper. But that's tomorrow's video. I don't want to share it too much, right? But yeah, that's what it is all about. Brandon says, I imagine they can adjust transaction cost. Ethereum and Bitcoin cannot adjust transaction costs unless some very crazy things go on. One of them, there was like a Bitcoin project of how to like amplify the speed, and someone was saying like how it wasn't even possible because it was written in their chain that there's only so many transactions can happen, and that's why you have the fees, right? The crazy fees for transferring. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to have some problems when it comes to scale. Stellar is not. And Brandon also says the lumens is also not used for one for one. I don't know what you mean by that, so if you're totally listening, dude, chime in, let me know. Alex says, I was just using one, it was an example. I assume every currency modifies. Yes, everyone does have an exchange rate. Everything does have a modified rate. All right, so yeah, that's what we're talking about here, okay? So again, this chart on the left, when you plot growth, okay, like this, and you're plotting it horizontally, you want to see your acceleration phases match each other going up similarly in the same time period. So you can see between year 1 and 2, it went up very similarly. Between 2 and 3, it was still going up. There was some deviation here. But 3 and 4, you could see it just didn't work, right? Some months up, some months down, blah. Between year 4 and 5, some months up, some months down, blah. Okay, horrible. Now let's talk about month 5 and 6. You can see everything is going up, but again, it's going up flatter like year 1 and 2. So my thesis here is that we're not going to see big price action until we see more asset holders come in here. And again, we could see 665,000 if this continues at this rate for the first 2 weeks of November, December time period. This blue bar here could be about right here. It'd be not as high. Yeah, it'd be about just as high as this one, maybe a little bit bigger. So yep, that's what we got here. So yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on this, right? Do you guys like this kind of deep dive stuff, extrapolation of data and where we can use it, and why it makes sense to research the development and the actual native use of the tokens and coins that you're invested in, okay? The meme tokens out here don't have this. The meme tokens just have a bunch of people that dump in when the meme is hot and sexy and then leave when the project is boring. Stellar, although it may not be the hot and sexy one, boring it won't be because it's always going to be this growing ecosystem. Yes, cumulatively, I cannot say that well, cumulatively speaking, Stellar, you could see, is growing. But what we needed to see and what we explained earlier is that we need to see them grow better in their slower segments, all right? I do have more for you. I do. So let's go to a little sneak peek for everyone, and that's this. Yes, I also have the price to asset holder comparison that I'm starting to work on, okay? On the left is the overall global price of Stellar, same time period, so you could see your horizontal axis is actually the exact same in terms of measurement of units, and check it out, and the asset holders. Look at some patterns here that are showing up, all right? There are some patterns here showing up that you could see when the ramp up of asset holders happens. Look at that, then the price happens too. Kind of interesting, right? It's not a direct correlation, but there is something out there, all right? So give me 1 second here. Let me go back to the screen. We got Jack chiming in. So can we predict the price will be at all-time high by end of year? Okay, here's my thing, Jack. I don't think we're going to be at all-time high price at the end of the year. And the reason I say that is this, okay? And again, this is just my opinion on this. You guys can think I'm totally out of it. But let's go back to this chart here. And let me wet my whistle real quick. And I think you guys all should wet your whistle as well too, please. So, all right. So the reason I don't see Stellar hitting an all-time high, does anyone remember offhand when Stellar hit their all-time high price-wise? Anyone? Anyone out there? Yeah, they hit it, and check it out. They hit it in direct correlation with this huge increase of asset holders. Look at this bulk. Look at this mass right here. Look at this growth. If we were to plot this growth curve, that is a very, very, very hot. I mean, that is a parabolic curve. This right here, okay? That is when their price, okay? And again, like I said, I don't want to go into too much because this is what I'm going to have a video about here. But you check this out. Look, their price did that. Asset holders, see what I mean? So there is some correlation to that. Now, that being said, when we go back, though, to this right here, Jock, the reason I don't think we'll see an all-time high, though, this year, unless something crazy happens and the market squeezes, like that'd be crazy, which could happen, right? I mean, it is crypto, and we've all seen this crazy stuff happen. But if you look at this, I just don't. This would have to really start getting parabolic. I mean, we'd have to really start seeing a few of these programs launching by the end of the year. And I'll tell you this right now, okay? At the end of the year, that is one of the least times that you see projects happen. Because I'm telling you right now, when it comes to spending, everyone usually cuts spending at the end of the year. That is like, they cut. That is just how it goes. The beginning of the year is when they launch big stuff, okay? Or when they spend big amounts, because that's when their budgets open back up, okay? But by the end of the year, they're always worried about cost cutting, all right? So now, for me to think all-time highs with Stellar, I'm going to need to see this really start blowing up. I mean, I'm going to need, to be honest with you, I'm going to start needing to see something around the 1 million plus asset holders, a time period conversion, right? I'm going to start needing to see some El Salvador Chiva wallet numbers coming out of these projects soon. So yeah, Jack, that's why I don't think you're going to see an all-time high soon. And the reality is I'm using this data not to tell me what an all-time high would be, but to give me a better idea. And again, I don't want to spoil my video, but since you guys are watching live, I guess it's cool. I'm trying to look more to determine, can I determine what a real floor is? A floor is going to allow me to be safe with my money, okay? And what I mean by that is everyone always worries about what the high is, right? What can Stellar get to? What can it get to? It can get to anything, right? And then we all celebrate, okay? But what about floors? What about losing money, okay? How do you determine what's a risky versus non-risky investment, okay? And again, this isn't investment advice. This is just how I take numbers in and how I digest them, okay? So when I look at this chart here on the left, I need to see where is Stellar's real new floor. Is the real new floor at that 30-cent mark, or can we break that again? Are we going to see after this bull run here, after we see some more action here, are we going to see the floor change? Are we going to see the floor maybe come up to 40 cents, 35 cents? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm using this for. It's not so much for me to determine price analytics on a high end, on a max potential. It's more about where can we raise the floor so that I know where can I keep investing in and make sure I'm not losing. All right, that's how I want to look at it. And the reason I want to look at it that way is take a look at this, guys. So I go over, all right, to the community tab, and please do check out the community tab. Really cool stuff here. I know I bring it up a lot, but it's really cool stuff. So I put this thing up here is, what is your average holding price in USD? I'll go first. I'm $26.98 as my average, so I vote in the blah, blah, blah. You guys get it. Check it out. The majority of our votes are people holding where they're still in profit right now at the minimum, 20%. The majority of viewers at the minimum are holding actually way more. So we're talking 56% of you out there are holding at a minimum 20% profit on up, okay? So every 1 out of 2 of you guys is 20% up, all right? So now that floor, did we create this floor, or will that action create a bigger floor, right? Will the floor start shifting from here to here? Now you guys can start seeing where floor resistance comes into play, because look at the holders, right? You can really start extrapolating a lot of cool stuff from this data out there. So let me get caught up in the comments. So Jack, hopefully that answers your question, man. Bruce Leroy goes, what do you think about Stellar Term? I do not have an opinion on Stellar Term at the moment. God's honest truth, I really try not to give many opinions on stuff until I really, really like try to get nasty deep into like, and really try to like understand it. I've actually had quite a few people tell me, hey, why don't you cover a whole bunch of cryptos? Well, there's the thing. I really want to cover just 1, 2, 3, just so deep that I really understand it, so that I'm not like the rest of the people out there that are just pushing fluff out, all right? As a channel, I'm not going to grow if I'm just pushing fluff out like everyone else. I want to be different and I want to be better. So I want to use my business skill sets and pass it on. So yeah, that's why I do it that way. But yeah, please check out the community tab. And again, thank you. We did hit 2,000 subs. I'm doing a giveaway, yes. And merch. If any of you guys are watching this live stream live right now, you saw this picture up here. Yep, that's the fridge magnet that I got. Yep, so if you want a fridge magnet, email me. The email is located in the about part of the page. But at the minimum, if y'all could at least just vote on what your price is right now, that would be awesome. But let me get back to the questions here. Let's see. Jack says, I see for the first time here in a gas station 2 nights ago, Bitcoin ATM. That's weird. How they're trying to sell regular people Bitcoins after the rich got fed. Yeah, no, Jack, it's true. When I was out in Vegas, we saw quite a few Bitcoin vending machines out there. In fact, I live in a very rural town. We actually have a couple crypto vending machines in a very rural town that I live in. So yes, it is out there, and it's spreading, man. It is definitely starting to spread. So yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on that deep dive regarding asset holders? Do I have any questions regarding that? Did any of this data here just really just jump out at you guys and just kind of just shock you? All right. I mean, I'm trying to just see, do you guys like this kind of data? The video itself, okay? The video, if you want, like, basically, like, again, what this is, look for this video right up here. It's deep dive XLM lumens. It's at the top, asset holders. The video itself, it's very hard, okay? It's hard to watch because it is very granular, but it is super, super informative and really helps you kind of pick out that juicy bit so that, like, you feel better informed about stuff. So, yeah, and again, if you're liking this kind of content, help me out. Drop a like. Drop a comment on some of the videos. The algorithm is really favoring comments right now, so if you drop comments on videos, it really helps out the algorithms. Other than that, I am open to talk about anything. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to go over with you guys. Okay, there's a really, so Yahoo Finance, a lot of people are like, oh, why do you use Yahoo Finance over TradeView? Well, Yahoo Finance I can access anywhere, no matter the PC I'm on, and I get it, you can do it with TradeView remote too. But, and this is but, okay, what I like about Yahoo is this right here. Yahoo, you can use any of these tabs, and what I used for this video was the historical data price in here. So yes, I had to go through all this fun stuff and do it out. And they actually let you change these historical prices from everything from daily, weekly, monthly. You can change even the years and so forth, all right? So yep, that's where I got the back end data for this video. Yeah, I thought you guys would like that stuff. So yeah, that's the big thing we're looking at right now, okay? Is that when El Salvador launched their Chivo wallet, they onboarded 2.1 million people in 2 months. Stellar's best onboarding up to date has been a 2-month period of 744,000, okay? So you could see Stellar is very far off, okay, of what El Salvador's Chivo wallet was able to do. So let's just divide that through real quick. 2.1 million. Yeah, so they have only achieved 35% of the success at their highest point in the same time over time period. All right, so we got Bronx Boy chiming in. I need to have XLM to explode. XLM I really do believe it's going to work. We just need to get this native asset holder pool increased quite heavily to make it work. And yes, Bronx Boy, XLM is the answer. And to give you guys, like, I don't know, if you guys want a little sneak peek of what's coming out tomorrow, check this out. So let's go into Stellar. All right, I'm gonna, because Bronx Boy, man, you've got a right idea, okay? So here, check this out. All right, here we go. So here is why Bronx Boy has the right idea. All right, check this out. So Lumen Swap. Here we go. All right, and this is why this is important, okay? Now, mind you, this is someone, all right, this is the gentleman who was the CEO of Lumen Swap, and he talks about why he picked Stellar over everyone else to launch, his program, okay? So anyways, if you go further down, I gotta hopefully find it, blah, blah, blah. Basically, anyways, check this out. So this is what Ben says and why he chose Stellar over, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so forth. They chose Stellar because Stellar's almost purpose-built for what we're trying to achieve, all right? In Bronx Boy, this is what you're talking about XLM is the answer, right? From my experience, when I go to a decentralized exchange, I want something to work. Stellar works, all right? These transactions are processed in 3 to 5 seconds. Bitcoin and Ethereum, it ain't that quick, all right? I don't want there to be challenges, glitches. I don't want there to be challenges with speed. He's referring to Bitcoin and Ethereum, all right? I want to be fast and ultimately to be cheap. Now we're talking, all right? I've been on Uniswap myself and paid in excess of $300 in gas fees. When you try to look at something exclusively or inclusively, you have to add gas fees to the rates, okay? So check it out for Stellar. For $350, this guy can do 1 million network transactions, where he paid over $300 already on one gas fee transaction, right? So again, the reason people are choosing Stellar is because it is fast, it is secure, and they're not paying the crazy gas fees, right? The actual Stellar fee for transfer is 1/100,000th of a lumen, all right? So it is not much. But let's chime in. Let's just look at pricing here and see what we have happened. All right, so we've got some action that just broke here recently. Again, down tick on price. Yeah, I'm not really watching too much on this stuff, and the reason I'm not really watching too heavily on any of this is, again, if we're seeing other things going down, right, if we're seeing negative pressure on Bitcoin, we know what's going to happen, all right? That is just how things work and so forth. What we also need to see is what happens with gold. I'm just throwing that out there, so just throwing that little gold nugget out there. All right, will the holdup on shipment of ports affect the price of XLM? All right, Jack, here's the thing. The shipment at ports, okay, is going to affect temporary inflation on the short term. Why? Because it's going to squeeze the supply, okay? That is a leveraged issue, right? You squeeze supply, price goes up with equal demand. I want you to look at this chart, Jack, all right? So we're going to open up gold, and don't laugh at me, guys, okay? Don't laugh at me because of gold, all right? But I want you to look at something, all right? We're going to compare gold, and we're going to compare Bitcoin, and we are going to compare XLM, all right? Because, Jack, what you're saying here essentially is that will these prices, all right, be affected by the port, right? And so I want to look at gold, and let's blow this out. Let's go to 3 months, okay? And then let's go now to a month. All right, you could see they all made this movement right here. All right, they all made this movement right here. This movement was all made when the CPI data was released. All right, Consumer Price Index data was released here in the United States. The moment that move happened, okay, it skyrocketed the price of gold at around the same time. XLM, right? Check out November 3rd. Look at the movement, and let's go back here. Let's make this November 3rd. Check it out. There was a delay movement. See what I'm saying? So they are moving in relation to inflationary terms, all right? So yes, is the correlation dead set on one day? No, it is not, all right? There is a little bit of a delay, but you can see though, yes, let's just compare. Let's compare Bitcoin so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. See that run that happened when gold happened around the 3rd, right? Everything took off around that time. So there is inflationary money being thrown at Bitcoin, Stellar, and gold. And probably a whole bunch of other crap out there too. Jack chimes in, I transfer XLMs very cheap to my Nano X and experiment with some Shibas, and yeah, if and that's the problem, right? Shiba's got the meme, right? Shiba's got meme power. They've got like online crap meme power, okay? XLM does not have that. XLM needs to work on that, all right? So that being said, what's going to happen is, yes, at first people are going to get shibbed. They're going to be like, oh, this is so hot. I love this stuff. But then they're going to use it, and they're going to realize how expensive it is to use to transfer money. That's my point of this, okay? Organic use of a product is going to outlast any meme explosion you could imagine. Businesses out there only survive if they are functionally good, right? Meme money does not last, right? Bad businesses do not last. Circuit City did not last. You guys get what I'm saying? That is how it works out there, okay? Eventually, the actual what happens, right? The juicy bits behind the company is what makes them the survivable, not the meme part of the company. I think it's time to have a drink. Cheers, everyone. And my brain today is completely fried because the video that I did that had all this data on it, I cannot even tell you how long that took. That took a damn long time. So I think I'm running on fumes here because that was a very in-depth video. So cheers, everyone. Okay, so getting back to it here, all right. Remember too, we talked about grayscale trust in XLM. Yeah, pretty interesting, okay. Look at the movement in the trust right here, all right. It's kind of settling a little bit, but look at the money that's been made. I can, remember I told you guys I bought sub 50? And yes, Amy says cheers to you, Amy. Remember I bought at sub 50 and I said on the stream, hey, buying XLM sub 50 and I'm going to be using native token to chart my pricing. Yeah, I did sell it. I sold it at like 79 something a few days ago. Well, anyways, yeah, just a little tidbit and nugget out there for you. So yeah, that's what we got going on. We're talking Stellar deep dive. We're talking asset holders. All right. We're talking where do we get this data from? All right. How do you extrapolate data from a cumulative effect to move it into a month over month, right? And also how, does Stellar have a seasonal effect? And what we've learned is yes, Stellar does have a seasonal effect. So how do you make a seasonal effect business better? Work on your crappiest seasons, right? You work on this March to April, May to June, big movement right there. All right, so we got Brandon chiming in. What are you guys most looking forward to hearing at Meridian 2021? You know what, let's do this, Brandon. Since you asked, let's pull Meridian 2021's agenda up, okay? And let's see. So we will skip all the pornog links and, oh, wait, no, sorry, that's on my other PC. So let's go to this. Let's go to Meridian 2021. And did any of you guys catch the pornog comment, right? Does anyone know what TV show that's from? Pornog? Pretty good. Okay, so I got the agenda up on the screen right now, okay? So this is what I'm looking forward to the most, all right? Originally, it was going to be this part right here, Danelle Dixon, Jed McCaleb, and Lauren. The reason I think this is a big one, and I am paying attention to this, is because this is Danelle and Jed McCaleb with their head of communication. So usually fireside chats are very informal, kind of like, you know, we're hanging out by the fire, you know, just relaxed and talking business, smoking a cigar. Like, that's kind of like the vibe of these things. So I don't know if they're going to bust out any big news regarding that. But this is what I'm looking forward to. And it's the end of like the 18th, okay? So it is the growth of Stellar. What happens next? I'm really big into looking at that, okay? Because I want to see what they're looking for, okay? This is Stellar's people here are going to be talking about growth. I want to see if they address the concerns that we have right here. Yeah. The concerns that we have right here. Yep, with the lack of onboarding acceleration. And I also want to see if they're talking about growth in terms of liquidity. What are they going to do on that, and how are they going to fix just overall liquidity on the exchanges, all right? But the real big thing that I want to look at is this right here. You've got some big people talking right here, okay? So Ruben Steckel is the co-founder and CEO of AirTM. That's that Mexico payment corridor, all right? That's the one where there are 128 million people in Mexico alone. And we've seen El Salvador converted 1/3 of their wallet holders. If Stellar could convert 1/3 of Mexico, holy crap, that's 40 million. That's insane. Not that could happen, but I'm just saying, right? If you think about it, it's possible. The raw numbers are there. The market is there, okay? And also, Amit Sharma is the founder of FinClusive. Important to see him there talking, all right? So really cool stuff. They are constantly swapping out people. I can tell you this is a different lineup than what I was looking at earlier. It changes, stuff like this happens. But there's going to be some big ones. So for me, it's crystal ball predictions for 2022. And again, the closing remarks with Danelle Dixon charting the course for 2022. Those are the big things that I'm looking for Meridian with Stellar. Now, that being said, I am going to be listening into this kind of stuff. Not a big deal, all right? Yep, I'm going to be hanging out listening to this stuff. If anything big breaks, I will be sure to go and broadcast live, or I'll make a quick video and dump it out there for everyone. And I will let you guys know if something happens through this. I will be listening live. I've got my schedule blocked out, so I will be able to hang out and listen live. The other one, I think, too, global impact of strategic investors. Remember, Stellar opened up a special fund for money leveraging, right? For quick money utilization of remittance-based businesses that could tie into here too, because check it out, the founder and CEO of Tala is talking. A lot of big hitters that are going to be at Meridian 2021. So yeah, that's what we got going on. What do you guys think of this stuff? I mean, I know it's a little gritty, it's a little, a little like metric heavy, but yes, we can do stuff like that on this channel, and that's what I wanted to show everyone out there. that the capabilities of this channel are much further than anything else you will see out there, because I'm not just going to draw some stupid arrows on a chart. I'm not just going to say, oh, I think XLM is going to hit $80 million. No, I am going to show you organic data, how I got there, and why it matters, okay? And for me, as I started digging down the rabbit hole that is asset holders, what sticks out to me is that Stellar is seasonal when it comes to gaining asset holders. It also means that we can see a huge number pop up here if the growth continues on their current trajectory phase for this November, December leg of time, all right? So what do you guys think, right? I think this stuff's kind of cool. I like this kind of stuff. I'm really big into stats. This was a whole bunch of time to put in, but it was worth it putting in a whole bunch of time because I like this kind of stuff. And yeah, Brandon, you're welcome, man. I do. I like this kind of stuff. Let me know. I mean, if this stuff is kind of cool, I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, in terms of views, this is going to suck, right? I mean, in terms of like, how am I going to get into the algorithms for YouTube, you know, because I want to be a YouTuber, you know? Like, it is going to suck. And I can tell you that right now because check it out. That video that I launched that's regarding this deep dive is one of the worst ones. Yeah, she sucks. She really sucks. But that's not what it's about, okay? It's about sharing the messages and sharing the knowledge with people and getting more people out there just to start thinking and grinding so we can work together, all right? Huge, huge thing to do, all right? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Please chime in. I will be glad to answer any of your questions regarding Stellar. We're talking Stellar, we're talking asset holders, we're talking Meridian. We're talking how there was a pop in price regarding Stellar, gold, and Bitcoin all around the CPI data, okay? This Consumer Price Index data. So yes, there are people using XLM as a hedge against inflation. I want you to think about that. There was a movement around XLM around the announcement of that CPI data, okay? So again, just think about it that way. There are people playing this as an inflationary play. The CPI data was around the 3rd, so we chomp it here, check it out, shortly after, yep, and we could all see when the run happens. Stellar is usually delayed about a day to 2 days, right, compared to like your Bitcoin, gold, and so forth. So yeah, kind of like this stuff, right? Let's see, what else do we got? Channel page, right? If you guys could, whoever's listening, and if you're listening right now, yeah, drop me a like on this live stream. This one took a lot of time to put together, and the video took a lot of time together, so show me some love, drop me a like, help out the channel with the algorithms. But if you could, go over to the community tab and just kind of browse the posts that we got in there. I try to post a couple times a week, try to get everyone involved, you know, kind of get us all together and whatnot. But yeah, do that. Remember, we have merch, fridge magnets. Yep, I actually did. I made fridge magnets. In fact, check this out. Check this out. Here we go, fridge magnets. I even have a display. See, I would be better at marketing than I think like most people. Fridge magnet. You should probably get one. It's super affordable. Show your support for the channel. And then every time you go to the fridge to drink, you're like, you know what? I just want to drink beer and talk crypto. And when I drink beer and talk crypto, I want to think of family, hobbies, and cards. So yeah, check it out. Check out the fridge magnet merch we got. I've already shipped a couple out to Europe. It's really cool. I'm waiting for them to get it, and I'm going to be posting their fridges online because they said they would post it online. Or they would send me a picture that I could post it online. So I'm really, really excited about that stuff. Other than that, though, I really don't have too much going on. I did kind of show you guys a few kind of little hidden gems that I got, you know, the next couple stories that I got releasing. But other than that, I think I'm going to end it here because I am a little tired. I kind of had to do the college tour thing with my daughter this weekend, and I slept like crap because I got sick doggies. There we go. I'll show him. Look at him. I knew you could see him. Look at him. He's just sitting down there. My old guy. Oh, poor old doggy. So, yeah. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, we're going to go with the outro, and then, you know, we'll do more live streams this week. Don't worry, guys. And then you can always ask me questions, too. So, Klaus, family hobbies and cards. I know this was a deep one. I know there was a lot going on. Hopefully you stuck it out, and thank you so much for the support. So, yes, Klaus, family hobbies and